is that something's wrong. Oh, so you trying to tell me that thing's working now?
You good now.
So what happened?
No idea.
Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all what. Like the sister just said a minute ago. Let me tell y'all something. Anybody looking at this, and you're probably not, but let me tell you something. It's probably some sign on some handwriting on the wall saying you probably need to reconsider and probably come back to church. We talked about it. We knew that when things start changing and maybe COVID starts going down, that people are going to have a whole lot of trouble coming back to church. You're going to get used to laying up in that bed with your head wrapped up, and then them house slippers and that house dress, and then them undergarments. And guy just sit down in his boxers, right? And if he look at the TV, he ain't trying to go nowhere, right? Because it's comfortable.
Sunday she said, I wanted to wear a dress today, last Sunday. She said, because we've gotten to where all we wear is t-shirts and blues.
See, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I've been wearing black on black for 200-something years now, right? Why did I start wearing black? Why did Mara start wearing? You know why I started wearing? I'm a big Negro, man. I started wearing black, and I learned from being in theater for a while that everybody who a supporting cast, they all wear black on black because it's smaller. And I wanted to look a little bit smaller. I saw myself on TV. I said, oh. I didn't like what I saw. I said, I'm gonna wear black so you can't completely tell, right? And I've been wearing it ever since, right? So so eventually though, and you guys know this, every now and then, DC, I'm gonna wear a suit.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I sweat out the suit, I'm still gonna try to do it. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna jump in because I know we're taking up a lot of time with what preliminary. So anyway, if anybody goes to the stream or you're looking to see if that's a live stream today, Ken and them said they got it up and running. So I don't know how they did that. And continue to pray with Pastor Wright because Pastor Wright ain't feeling so good. He said he did a test. It's negative, so it's not that. It's that other thing that's going around. There's another thing going around right now that seems like allergies, right? But it doesn't. But if it gives you fever, body aches, nausea, and vomiting, or diarrhea, that's not an allergy. Allergies don't do that. That's kind of the way we differentiate, right? Allergies can give you rash, it can give you, make it itchy all over, watery eyes, congestion, all that other stuff. Make you kind of feel kind of lousy, your head's all messed up and congested and stuff like that. Or you can get a rash on your skin if it's something contact-wise. But it usually doesn't make you sick. If you're sick, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and running fever, that's not typical of allergies. If it's not COVID, it's something else. And probably viral, which they can't treat. So doctors will give you some Z-Pak. Z-Pak's not treating that. They give you that Z-Pak because they want you to be satisfied when you leave the office and don't think that the doctor didn't do anything. Doctor knows he's not treating that virus, but you don't know it. You think that's treating the virus. But you're happy because you're left with a prescription. And everybody comes to the office wants to leave with a prescription. If you tell you nothing we can do, you don't want to pay. Hey, that's what's up. Doctors playing the game. You want to keep it coming back. I'm not that guy. I say, well, since I don't understand you don't want to pay. I understand that for you to get my education and my knowledge and stuff, you don't want to pay. But you don't have to pay. So hey, don't worry. I won't be asking you to come back because everybody wants something for free. I get it. Anyway. We're going into this. We're still doing Jesus in his own words. Now we're up to now, it's around Matthew chapter 5 and 6 now. We're moving forward. Actually, we're at Matthew chapter 5. And like I told you, what we're doing, and that's why you got a handout today. You don't have to look it up. It's all in the handout, folks. It's all in the handouts. Because what we're doing is incorporating not only what Matthew wrote, but what Mark wrote, what Luke wrote, and what John wrote about the same topic. So we're covering all 4 Gospels in sequence as we go chapter by chapter, beginning with Matthew. We pull up all that same episode that's in Luke, the same episode that's in Mark, the same episode if it's in John. And we're putting that into this lesson called Jesus in his own words. Here's the intro. Now we come to Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount, probably the most famous sermon that people say he ever did. Man, he did a whole lot more than that, but hey, I understand it. Where he describes the attitude of believers. He says the word blessed, which does not mean happy, for happiness is dependent on favorable circumstances or luck. No, Jesus speaks of complete satisfaction when he says blessed. Completely satisfied. Anybody completely satisfied? See, no. That means we're not as blessed. When we say blessed with highly favored, I don't know what we mean. We're not in complete satisfaction about anything. Well, there are some things you should be in complete satisfaction for. The blessedness he speaks of is progressive, meaning it's not static. This means that each stage or attitude builds upon the one before it. Let me show you what I mean in case you don't get it. Each after. So now we come to the famous Beatitudes, or the attitudes that be of the believer. Look up at me now when I say, since there's 5 of us here. Your attitude denotes your altitude. Your attitude denotes how far up you go. People on this planet, even boneheaded people, are willing to adjust some things because of attitude. All of us have been in some place where we needed help, or something went wrong, or we went to get some service at an auto place, or we went to get some service at a store. And because of our attitude, people who would not normally do stuff went extra mile for us because we had a good attitude, right? It's all about, okay, I was just in a wreck today, right? Maybe 30, 45 minutes before I came here, right? Some lady hit me from behind. There's 2 ways I could have responded to that. Bad attitude, good attitude. 2 ways, right? You know, if she hit me, it's a big black guy in the car. She don't know what if I was a normal big black guy about my car, that would have been a whole big problem. Typically, it all depends on the attitude, how you want to be presented. My thinking immediately was I understand exactly why she hit me, right? I was coming around the corner, and I was supposed to yield. The yield sign for me, because the street goes across the street, and then there's this angle turn where you have to yield. Car was coming across here. She expected me to keep on going. I stopped to yield. Bam! She hit me. She said I was going to go in front of the car. I wasn't going to go in front of the car. I would have cut the guy off. So I stopped like I was supposed to. Bam! She hits me in the back, and then I said, oh man, here I am in a wreck. Knocked my breakfast on a bun out of my hand. I was trying to eat my breakfast on a bun. Couldn't even trying to finish my breakfast on a bun. Knocked my bob out of my hand. Right? So what's the attitude? I just came back from a Vegas trip, and here I'm in a wreck. Right? I mean, my thing was this. I thought immediately, I said, well, you know what this is? God has been so gracious. He kept us all those days away from home in Vegas, kept the house, kept everything. Yeah. Then when I got home, he says, I'll let this happen. Why? You must understand, all of us must understand that we have enemies. You do know that, right? These enemies are not people in flesh. They're supernatural forces and spirits. And they are always petitioning, just like Job, to see if they can get to Ron the G. Yeah. Niti, you think nobody's talking about you. There are enemies that are talking about you. And they say, well, if I can't get Niti, maybe I can get Swan. Yeah. And if I can get Swan, I can get Niti. Yeah. And if I get one of them beautiful grandchildren or husband, these beautiful girls, if I get Elena or one of those, if I get either one of them, I can get Niti by getting one of them. Same thing is true. Niti, let something happen to one of the babies they didn't see. That's going to carry your whole, what are you going to do? Let something happen to Noah, who you take care of and raise and doing all the good. Right. Let something happen to some of the people you care for. Because if he can't get to you, he'll go on to somebody else. Why? Why they always petition? Because those guys, the names of Satan, Satan is accuser and adversary. Understand, accuser and adversary. Who is he accusing? You, before God, saying, why you give her your spirit? Why you say, well, look how she's thinking, look how she's living, look how she acting. I mean, why do you let Job walk around with everything and then don't let that happen to him? Let me do something. Yeah. Listen to the Bible, if you ever read the book of Job. Let me do something to him. I promise you he'll curse you to his face. Yeah. God says, you don't know Job. Me and Job is not like this. We like this. We are so close. You can't see me for Job. Can't see Job for me. That man loves me. He's not going to drop the ball. Oh, yeah, right. Watch. Give me a chance. Yeah. Just like that happened, that was put in the Bible. It's one of the first books ever written in the Bible. And it also happens to let you know that there are devils and accusers that are asking God about you. Mm-hmm. Are you just protecting Niti for nothing, letting everything work? You let everything that she does work out. You're keeping her evil from her, keeping her children, got her children under the umbrella. As long as she's walking godly, the children are safe. I think actually, if you let something bad happen to her, she'll cuss you to your face. Oh, really? God says, I know Niti. Niti, we have a love relationship. She's not going to drop the ball. Well, let me do something. Okay. And here's the key. God is very careful about what he lets come into your life. If he lets it come, and here's the thing you might not like. None of us knows how strong we are.
That's true.
None of us knows how well we can do, right? We think we're strong. Like I think I'm strong. I actually found out I'm pretty weak. Because God has to be careful. God has to be very careful about what he let come to me. He knows I'll fall and fall on the ground in a heap in a minute. He knows me, I ain't that strong. He knows I'd be the fell all out, be on the floor crying. The great man of God, great Morris, the great man of God, on the floor crying about what he let happen. How come you let this happen? The great man of God. Or the great powerful pastor, great Dr. Martin, this and that, talk all day long, holler loud, big mouth, just like this on his belly, weeping like a baby, right? Because I can't take much. I've grown, and as I have grown, God has let some things come into my life that I thought all of them were too much for me to handle. I thought all of it was too much, but it turns out that he's taking me by stages and letting things come as I can handle it. That stuff about him not bringing too much on you than you can bear, there's truth there, might as well accept it. The thing is, though, some people are stronger than they think. And God allows some things to take place that you say, there's no way I'm ready for it. But God says, I know you better than you do. So now, this is all then, and the reason why I'm spending all this time on this is because we're talking about attitudes of the believer. Attitudes everything. Attitudes everything. Attitude at your job. Attitude at the doctor's office. Attitudes at the grocery store when you get ready to buy a car, when you buy a house. Attitude if you go ask for a car loan or a house loan. Attitude when you're finna apply for a job. Attitude when you're doing stuff, when you want somebody to give you money. Attitude is important when you're in the church and how we treat one another here. Attitude makes us a good place to come or a place you wish you didn't have to come. And say, man, I think I'm coming this week. People tripping. Right? Attitude is everything in this thing. Attitude among our women. Attitude among our men.